actually see. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the free live stamping class in my stamp room. Barb here from barbstamps.com in Sheridan, Wyoming. Thursday night. It must be 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. Because, hey, I'm live. Woo, woo! I'm very excited to be here tonight with you people. I hope you all had a fantastic week. And that, life is good. And yeah. So, what's been going on? Anybody have any crappy weather? Well, I guess if you live in California, you've been having some really yucky weather. Sorry about that. We haven't really had any bad weather since I think it was right before Christmas when it was really, really cold and we got like 14 inches of snow. So we pretty much don't really have much snow left. And it's been really nice. Like, I think it was 30 something today, 40 maybe. So that's like heat wave. We've had a heat wave now for quite a while. So it's been really nice. That means that my son can actually work because he works outside. So he's not freezing to death, which is good. He's still drinking his hot chocolate because he's tried coffee and is not a fan of coffee, which I can't blame him. I despise coffee. I tried it a number of times when I was a young person, and no matter how much creamer or anything I stuck into it, it still tasted like coffee. And I love the way coffee smells. Oh my gosh, does it smell delightful. But it just tastes crappy. So anyway, so he drinks hot chocolate to stay warm. And so we've been discussing different flavor coffee creamers to add to his hot chocolate. So I was at Walmart the other day, so I took a bunch of pictures of the ones that I found, and then asked him, what looked good to him. And he said that I think it was the cinnamon vanilla was one that he'd like to try. So the next time I go to the store, I will be getting some cinnamon vanilla coffee creamer for him to add to his hot chocolate. So we'll see what's going on. So I hope everybody's doing good. I think I already said that, but I really do hope so. Because, it can be, life is hard sometimes. It's a struggle. I think I was telling you guys last week about my tooth and how I was having to irrigate it with a bent needle syringe and I had to squirt chlorhexidine in there. Well, nothing worked. It started hurting, which is really weird because, of course, it didn't hurt at all until I went to the dentist and then they told me that there was a problem. And then after they told me there was a problem and they messed around with it and told me to irrigate it with this junk, now I have a problem. Now I feel the problem. So anyway, I called them. When did I call them? Monday, I think. I got in Tuesday. I said, I'm not doing anything with this tooth. I'm not going to go through the pain of a root canal because I have so much bone loss and gum recession back there that it's just a lost cause. So he agreed with me. He decided that extraction would be the best thing. So he gave me a referral. I called them yesterday and they told me that I could get in this morning at 8 o'clock. And I was like, excellent. I'll get my tooth yanked out at 8. I go live at 5. That should be fine. Not a problem at all. Well, at 7 o'clock this morning, they call me and tell me that the dentist doctor that was going to do my extraction, woke up today feeling ill. And so he wasn't able to travel down here because the office that they have here in town is actually a satellite office out of Billings, Montana, which is 2 hours from here. And they only see patients in this office on Thursdays. That's it. That's your only option is Thursdays, which I'm like, that's my live day, but okay, whatever. So anyway, they couldn't get me in because he's ill. So they had to reschedule me. So first they tell me to get back in with this guy. I could either choose January 26th or I think it was February 9th or 10th or something anyway. And I was like, no, it's bothering me. And yes, I'm on an antibiotic, but by the time I get in with you, I'm going to have to take more antibiotics. And I just don't want to take that many antibiotics. So I said, no, I'm going to pass. I'll see if I can get in somewhere else. So I called, of course, the other place that has a satellite office out of Billings down here. They see patients on Mondays and Wednesdays. They couldn't get me in until after February 10th. And I'm like, What? So anyway, I called the first place back and I said, okay, look, here's the situation. I guess I'll have to take your first available. And she said, well, have you ever seen this doctor before? And I said, no. And she goes, oh, well, then how about if I get you in next week with this other doctor? Okay. Only bad thing is it's at 3:10 in the afternoon. So I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be going in for a tooth pulling and then at 3 o'clock and being live at 5. So next week, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might try to go live on Wednesday afternoon. I normally go live at 5 o'clock my time. So whatever time it is for you guys where you live, that's the time I'm normally live on Thursdays. But I was thinking of doing it on Wednesday instead. But I don't know if I can because we've got another live event in our catalog kickoff group would be at that same time, almost at that same time. So I might do it on Wednesday, but do it a little earlier so I don't have a conflict with our catalog kickoff group. So I don't know how most of you see that I'm live, if you get notified by YouTube or if you get notified via Facebook. You know, when I post my Facebook post that I'm going to be live. Actually, I'd be really interested to know how you guys know that I'm live on Thursdays. Do you just know that I am, so you just show up? Or do you get notified by YouTube? Or do you follow me on Facebook and and that's why you come here on Thursday nights? I'd really be curious to know how that works, because if I actually did do it on a different day and time, is that going to throw the whole schedule off? And people that just normally know I'm going to be here on Thursday nights just show up, and that way I would be really bummed if I wasn't here. So yeah, I'd really be interested to know if you guys could let me know how you follow me, how you know that I'm live. That would be a very interesting statistic for me to check out. So anyways, you guys are being very kind, telling me to take care of myself. And yes, it's just one of those annoying things, I've just been cursed with bad teeth my whole life. I literally, every molar in my head is a crown. Most of them have had root canals. I have a bridge up here in the front. I've had multiple cavities over my life as a person. And it's just crazy to me because my husband never goes to the dentist. He has never had a cavity in his life. And the last time he was at the dentist was 20 years ago. How is that even possible? I've gone to the dentist every 6 months my whole life. Is that the problem? Is going to the dentist the problem? I don't know. I feel like it's hereditary, and my parents don't have that great of teeth either. Nobody has dentures or implants, but anyway. Okay, so I'm just curious. I was pulling my iPad down to see what you guys were saying. Judy says, I just follow you. I love that. Let's see. Judy says she didn't get a notification. Judy, there is a little notification bell somewhere down here on the screen that you might need to click to tell YouTube that even though you're a subscriber of mine, that you want to be notified when I do stuff. So that might be part of that problem. I don't know for sure. I mean, there's all kinds of algorithms and all kinds of things that make all this happen, and I don't know a lot about them. So there you go. Let's just see here. It looks like a lot of you are notifications on YouTube. That's interesting. Okay. So if I did go on Wednesday, you'd get notified on Wednesday instead. So, okay. Some of you do come here from Facebook. Joanne says she just normally knows I'm here, so she's it's just a thing. Oh, Mary, you're so sweet. Mary says, I see your pretty face on YouTube telling me that you're going live. That's so sweet. Thank you. Lee's YouTube. Yeah. Mary says YouTube also. She just knows when I'm live. Okay, I have the okay, Bonnie says she does have the bell notification on, and sometimes it just does not work. I'm not surprised. It is definitely a weird, it's just a weird fluke. I don't know. Who knows what to do. Okay, and some of you just end up watching the replay. Okay, so I may just switch it to Wednesday because I just don't, there's no way I'm going to do that. I figured if it was 8 o'clock in the morning and then 5 o'clock at night, you take some Advil and you put some cold packs on, I probably would have been fine. I've had a tooth pulled before. It's not that big of a deal. It hurts. Yeah, it's annoying, but I figure an hour, my face will probably still be really fat when we're talking like this, so that probably wouldn't work out so good. I'm talking like a silly person. So yeah. Okay. Well, that is all that that's gone on this week. I don't think we've had any other. Oh, Lisa, she follows the Three Stooges. Could that be Kelly, Dina, and Barb? I'm pretty sure it is. That's really funny. Lee, you're hilarious. Thanks for giving me the laugh. All right. So, since nothing else is going on, I keep trying to think, has my son done anything? Because, he does all kinds of dumb stuff. But I don't think he has. He's not been injured for the longest time. I told you guys last week that he got his crowns and that he came home yelling at me because he didn't know that he was going to have to get fake teeth. What did you think that meant? So, yeah, there's just nothing else going on. So there you go. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and just flip the camera then, and we're going to get started because I have some really cute stuff to share. So, yay. All right, here we go. We are going to pull the charging cord out of here because I don't think I'm going to need it. I think I got enough power. All right, and now we're going to check and make sure that we have that this is nice and centered and even. You guys can probably see my beautiful, beautiful boho blue baby boss. I just love this thing. I mean, it's just exactly the same as my white one, but just the fact that it's this beautiful blue color, it just makes me really happy every time I look at it. So in case you're wondering how to get that, let me just tell you. If you join Stampin' Up! Right now during celebration, which is between now and February 28th, you can choose this little puppy in your starter kit for basically $30. It's a $63 item in the catalog. And to get it for the $30, you'd have to spend $450 in order to get a half price item. So there you go. But if you do it now, you can just get it for $30. Plus, you're going to get $175 worth of product, plus the machine, free shipping, $129. That is like an insane deal. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know. Otherwise, you don't have to get the machine. If you just want to sign up and get the $175, you just only pay $99. So there is a link down in the description of this video, or you can go to tinyurl.com/joinwithbarb. All right. I see some of you making some other comments. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything that's important. Maybe my son needs a tiara so he knows about crowns. Oh, Beverly, that is funny. And yeah, he probably does. All right. Oh, I did see somebody tell you guys to give me a thumbs up. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be awesome. I do appreciate that very much. That does help with the YouTube algorithm things, whatever that even means. I have no idea. So, yes. Join my team, Stampin' Up! You get a free basic Stamp Happy Academy membership once you've placed your first order as a demonstrator. We have all kinds of support. The three of us do some team trainings where everybody's involved. Obviously, we do some separate things with our teams too. I have a team meeting every month. It's coming up on Tuesday. We do have a team swap. I have a Facebook group. And, we do a lot of different things in there, a lot of challenges, just a lot of helpful information. People can ask questions. I'm happy to, answer anything that I can. So anyway, yeah, it's just not a bad thing to join Stampin' Up! If you're buying Stampin' Up! Product, and if you're buying $100 worth of stuff, you should absolutely sign up because you're going to get a discount then. And then there's no penalties if you can't stay a demonstrator, if for whatever reason, circumstances prevent you from spending your $300 a quarter. You just get dropped. No big deal. You don't get penalized or anything. So it's amazing. All right. So the little thanks kit, the Say Thanks kit is still available. I was pretty sure it was going to be sold out by now, but I'm guessing maybe they bought more or they ordered more because they knew it was going to be crazy cute because of all this beautiful rainbowy stuff here. So anyways, that's still available. $13, you guys, for a 9-card kit. That's pretty darn cheap. My class to go for the month of January is the Country Bouquet. And it includes a half a pack of the Country Floral Designer Series paper, I think it's called, the pastel adhesive backed sequins, a quarter pack of the really beautiful textured shimmery glimmery paper that I'm going to actually use on a card today. You can add the bundle if you want. You can add the Happy Label stamp set if you want, and you'll get the ribbon as well. So links to purchase that are in the description of my video. The other class I have this month is the Adorable Owls online class. And you can get that if you already have the owls. That's great. If you don't have the owls, you can get the whole shebang and then add the owls. It's a freebie. So just let me know what you want to do. Links are in the description as always. Like I did mention a little bit earlier, we have our new catalog kickoff party going on. It is free to Stamp Happy Academy members, which means it's free to our team members also. So anybody who's in our levels 1 through 3 or a member of Stamp Happy Academy gets this event for free. If you don't qualify for either one of those things, you can just pay a $15 fee and get in. We have had 4 of the 6 live stamping presentations. The videos will stay linked in the group forever. We also are offering a make and take packet. The 9 cards that are in this kit have already been demonstrated in the group, so you can see what they are before you decide if you want to order the make and take packet. So you can do that also. I think there's a link in the description, or you can do it over on the group website. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, if you place an order in my online store this month, at least through the 20th of January, that's $75 or more, I will give you a package of these beautiful little adhesive backed milky dots. Super cute are they? All right. The Alphabets class, I still have 2 or 3 of those left. My fresh cut flowers, I think I have 3 of those left. I've got a lot of different classes still available. You can check them out in the description, or you can go to my blog. There's a link to see what's still available. Still have some pretty pop-ups. Very cool class. Always have adhesive kits for you guys. And then I think Bonnie just mentioned to you how amazing Stamp Happy Academy is. If you're not a member, check it out. You get the catalog kickoff group for free, like I mentioned, as a part of your subscription. So on that, if you have questions, please let me know. I am happy to answer them for you. All right, put my glasses on, my stamping glasses, and we are going to get started here. So let's do this little project first. So I wanted to bring in the two-tone Flora stamp set along with the Something Fancy stamp set. These two, I guess they're actually sold as bundles. This has a coordinating bundle, and so does this one. This has like the tags. This has like the flowers. So they're sold as like as a suite. If you wanted, you could get both the bundles and some other stuff. Anyway, I'm just using the stamp sets today for my card. And the flowers are just very fun, very pretty. And then we have the Something Fancy stamp set, which has a lot of great sentiments and some fun different little fonts. I like these little skinny ones, and then I also like the ones that have multiple fonts within the sentiment. I think that's pretty cool. So there you go. And a lot of you girls are saying how amazing Stamp Happy Academy is, so thank you girls for saying that, and they're correct. Okay, if you guys are able to share the video, that would be awesome. I believe you can share it to Facebook. I think there's a share down here, maybe not while I'm live, but if you're watching the replay, you can share it. All right, so we're going to get out some paper. So here's our papers. We are going to do a black and pale papaya card. So I've got a black card base, 5.5 by 8.5. I have a black layer and a white layer. The black's going to go on the outside, white's going to go on the inside. Both are 4 by 5.25. Then I have a piece of white that I cannot remember what the size of it is. I think it's 2.5, 3.5. Yes. The white is 2.5, 3.5. Black is 2 5/8. Oh no. Are these the same size? Tell me they're not. Oh, they're not. Okay, so I was like, oh my gosh, they look exactly the same. This says 3.5, or no. How is that possible? Did I measure? Oh, I measured wrong. Right. Okay. 2 3/8 by 3 3/8. And then 2.5, 3.5. And then I think this is 2 3/4, 3 3/4. That's what we do. Okay. So these are all going to go together, obviously. But this one, I wanted to do a teeny bit of stamping. And when you're stamping on black, the best thing to do is to stamp it in Versamark and either cover it with clear or black embossing powder. I'm going to go with clear just because That's just how I designed the card, and the clear is good. Get all these little stamps out of the way here. Okay, so we still have the embossing, what is this? The Essential Embossing Kit. Oh, that's not what it's called. Embossing Essentials Kit. Maybe that's what it's called. This carried over from the holiday catalog, and so it's still available. I do have a little bit of the embossing buddy in the bottom of the tray here so that my powder doesn't stick. So I am going to ink up my little foliage, my little foliage piece here with some Versamark. And when I'm using Versamark, my theory on it is ink it up until you think you have enough and then go ahead and add some more. I just don't feel like you can really ever have too much Versamark. So because this stamp is, what do you call it? Photopolymer, I am going to bring in a foam mat. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that. You can see the Versamark absolutely makes some color there. And part of that's because I have the embossing buddy on there. So of course the powder doesn't stick to the, or does stick, doesn't stick, does stick, doesn't stick. I don't know. The ink goes through the powder. Then we're going to add the clear embossing powder to our stamped images here. Okay. And then I just kind of like tap the cardstock so that it can fill in all the little spots there. And since we did use the embossing buddy, I don't have too much to brush off. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my heat tool and we're going to get that melted. And I have to tell you guys, I've probably told you before, but I'm going to tell you again, I love heat embossing. I just think it is the coolest technique. It's so amazing. It's never boring to me. It doesn't matter how many times I emboss something, it's always very cool. So here we go. We have the little ceramic tweezers, and I'm going to move this out of the way, and here we go. The tool is kind of loud. I apologize. There we go. So cool. There we go. Make sure we get it all melty. And now you're going to say, yeah, but you have that nice white blob of embossing buddy there. Yes, I do. I'm going to let this cool off really quickly. And then if I was extremely nimble, I would show you how to get that off, but I'm not. So I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it and I'm going to rub it on my leg. If you're wearing jeans, that's the best kind of pants to be having, but I don't have jeans on. I have like leggings or sweatpants on. So I'm going to just rub this on my leg and it should come off. See? So now it's gone. So rubbing it on your leg works really well. Okay. So now we're going to bring this in and we are going to do the stamping. So let me bring that back in. So I have a sentiment out of the, what is it called again? Something Fancy stamp set. And we're going to use some Memento, just because that's my black that I've got here. So I'm just going to ink that up. And then I'm going to try to stamp this in the middle. Make sure I have it in the middle here. And we're going to wing it. Hope it goes. Oh, I think I touched it. No, I didn't. I did it. It's fine. Okay. Then I also have another sentiment that I wanted to add to the inside, I believe. Where is it? Here it is. I had all these images here. And I'm going to stamp my little happy birthday kind of right down here at the bottom of the inside layer. There we go. So I think we're done with the Memento for the moment. Then we're going to bring this back in. And I'm going to add some flower images to this. So I've got 3 different sizes of the flowers out of the set. I've got the really big one, I've got a medium-sized one, and then I have the small one. Now I'm going to use pale papaya ink. So having it be perfectly stamped isn't quite as critical as it would be if you were using like a darker color. Okay, so, and I'm actually going to be stamping off a little bit because I don't want to overtake my sentiment. So I'm going to stamp off a little bit here too. So I'm going to ink up my outer layer, and I think I'm going to stamp it off. Am I? Let me stamp this on the back and see. Nope, I'm not stamping that off. So this I'm going to go full strength. And I'm going to kind of stamp that right there. And then my medium layer, I am going to stamp kind of over here to the side. Whoops. And then my small one, I'm going to stamp up here. All right, so now I've got the bold image, the big one. And I am going to take a piece of Scotch tape and press it over my stamp because it has been sitting out here for a day and a half since I designed the card. And it's probably got a little bit of dust on it. And a little bit of dust will definitely transfer to your stamp and then onto your card. So now, like I said, I'm not going to have this be perfect. I'm going to try, but I don't know that I'm going to get it because it's very light and it's hard to see when the things are really, I think I got it pretty good. So now we're going to do this next layer. This is the medium one. And I feel like, is it like this? Because what I'm trying to do is line up the little dots in the middle. That's kind of what I'm going for there, which is very helpful. That one's pretty good. And like I said, it's so light you can't really see. I'll bring it up a little bit closer when I am done. But you can't really tell. So here's what I have so far. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. And that is pretty much all we're doing on the outside. Now on the inside, I did want to go ahead and, whoops, kind of mimic what I have on the outside here. Did I do it this way? I think so. And kind of put it on the inside, maybe over my little happy birthday sentiment a tiny bit, so that we have something pretty on the inside too. All right, I see some people are still joining us tonight. Welcome, everybody. I see who came in. Maybe Holly. Hello, Holly. Nice to see you. Nope, this goes over this way. If you use those dots in the middle, it makes it a lot easier to line it up. So that's what's going to be on the inside. Nothing super fancy, but just a little bit, you know, of interest for the inside of the card. And now we can kind of mostly put it together. I need some ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to glue these 2 pieces together. I'm going to just use some seal. So this will just be a flat glue together here. There we go. And then I'm going to use dimensionals. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to use dimensionals on the next layer. I guess I could use dimensionals on both, but I was looking at my sample and I didn't use dimensionals on this layer of my sample. So we're just not going to do it. We're going to do it just like the sample because that's the way I want to do it. Okay, so now on the back of this, I'm going to add just a tiny little ribbon detail. And this is a fun little detail that you can add that uses a very tiny little snippet of ribbon. And sometimes what I like to do is, so I'm going to have it be like this. So I am going to, at first, of course, I'm the Scotch tape queen. So I'm going to add this little piece here with a piece of Scotch tape. And then I'm going to roll this over and create my little loop here. And then I'm going to add another piece of tape. Okay. And now I can add dimensionals because the dimensionals will kind of take up a lot of the slack where the ribbon is, so it won't seem as thick back there if I put the dimensionals on. And I have a whole bunch of edge pieces here that I can use. So yay. Oh, good grief. I should have stuck that one over here and I didn't. So this is like dimensional overload, seriously, but it's fine. It's fine. They come off pretty darn easy. And then we have taken up the height behind that little blob of ribbon, because this ribbon is a little bit thicker, but this is a good way to use some of your thicker ribbons. If you're thinking, oh, I can't do that because I can't tie a bow with it, you don't have to tie a bow with it. You can do something just very simple like this. That's not even. And just, you know, add a little bit of interest there to the side. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead with my seal. And because I did heat embossing on this layer, I am going to go all the way around with my adhesive. I should have used liquid glue. That probably would have been better, but I didn't think about it. And then we'll just add this. So this is like a tone-on-tone layer. I could have just embossed right on the front, but sometimes I like that. It just gives it a little more interest. Having that extra layer of black is it's just another layer of interest. And it's not like super expensive to add a quarter sheet of cardstock to something. So think about that the next time you're doing anything. Oh, you know what? I need to get some gems. I had planned on adding some gems and I forgot. So I think for this particular card, I'm going to bring in these iridescent pastel gems because I feel like these here are like pale papaya. And so we're going to go with that. And let's see, what do I want to do with this? Do I add the big one? Like right here in the center of that flower? Is that like too much? And then maybe, oh, I feel like I would need a big one. Maybe like that. Is that too much? Is the bling too much? Is it too annoying? I don't know. I just really like adding bling to stuff. So to me, it's not overkill, but to somebody, it might be like, whoa, you should have just stopped. So I don't know. Let me know if you think bling or no bling. I mean, obviously the bling's already on there, so you know, we can't really do anything about that. But here is a card with no bling because I did, this was what I did for a swap. And then I did that. So, okay. All right. Mary said I'm buffering. So I'm hoping it's you, Mary, and not me. I know that always sounds terrible, but, you know, like I always say, if it's me, then it affects everybody. So I'm hoping that it's not me, that it's you. I mean, I'm sorry that it's you, obviously. But, okay. So you guys are saying the bling is okay. All right. Good. Good, because sometimes I'm like, oh, geez, is that too much? But you said it was good. And okay, I think I saw Trish or somebody say that hers was not buffering, so that's good. That's good. Okay. All right. I've got mostly everything cleaned up here from this project, so we will now move on. Oh, I should bring in the cards I made last week in case you guys missed me live last week. This is what I made last week. I did this fun card. This is not one of the cards that's in my class, but you could make this card if you had this bundle. And then I did this beautiful card using that stamp set that is free for a $100 order during celebration. And then we did this really cute owl card too. So those are the 3 cards I did last week. Okay. So if you didn't watch these, if you didn't check this out, you can go back and watch the video from last Thursday and check out those cards. All right, so this next one, I am going to be using the Country Bouquet stamp set and punch. So this is actually a bundle. These items are purchased. You can purchase them in a bundle or separate, however you want to do it. But I recommend getting the bundle, obviously. And then if you do want to get my class, you'll need the bundle, which you can add on to the class if you don't have it. And then you're going to get the red and burlap ribbon, which I just call this crumb cake because that's what it looks like to me. It's crumb cake color. You're going to get the pastel adhesive back sequins. There's 2 different sizes in here. There's a full sheet of small and a full sheet of large. You will get a half a pack of the, I think it's Country Floral Designer Series paper. So fun. And look at these patterns on the back, kind of a little bit more plain. which I think is always fun. And then you're going to get a quarter pack of this textured, oh, I wish I knew what the whole name was. Hold on. The whole name is textured 12 by 12 shimmer paper. So, but your papers will come 6 by 6. Now these have like, it looks like corrugated, like a corrugated box is what it kind of looks like. It's a little bit textured and it's very shimmery, and you get the, I'm pretty sure this is shaded spruce. You get the white and then the balmy blue. So you're going to get some of that also with your kit. And of course, like I said, the link to the kit is in the description of this video. So there we go. So I am going to get out my papers for the card. Here we go. And I'm also going to bring in the Happy Labels stamp set. This is another adder for the class if you so desire to add it, because there's some really great sentiments in here. And again, with the different fonts in the sentiment, I really, really, really like that. Okay, so we've got our little gems. We've got some stamps here. We've got some scraps of white. We've got some designer series paper. Well, good evening, Kathy. Welcome. Okay, so first things first, this piece is 3 3/4 by 5, if I had measured it right. 5 by 3 3/4. I did. Then this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. And if you want to use the whole piece, you just go right ahead and do it like so. But I'm going to cut the middle out because that way we will have the middle to use on something else if we want. Because we certainly don't need the entire piece because you're not even going to be able to see it. So I'm going to take my layer, and since it's a 1/4 inch larger than this other layer here, I'm going to cut this square out of the middle at 3/4 inch. So I have lined my paper up at the 3/4 inch mark over on the other side of the track, and I am going to start my blade. There is a little score line on the side of the blade here that I can start at 3/4 inch. And now I said it was 4, so I'm going to pull it down to 3 1/4. So that way I'm going to leave a 3/4 inch border around the whole thing. You could probably even go with a 1/2, but we're going to go with this. So now I'm just going to line that up where my cut line is, which should be at about 3/4 inch. And I'm going to come down here. This is 5 1/4, so I'm going to stop at about 4 1/2. Slide that into the 3/4 inch line again. I'm just going to line it up there, bring it down to about 3 1/4, rotate it, and make our final cut. Okay. And if it doesn't just pop out, no big deal. Just take your snips and just snip those edges, and then it will come out. Okay, and that way you can save this piece because it is really fun. It's very pretty, and the texture in there is just very interesting. I just really like it. So now you have a little piece of that you can use for something else. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our designer series paper over the top of this. So we'll just have a bit of that shimmery stuff showing around the edges. So what I'm going to do is I can pull my paper slightly back, and I can see how wide of an area I have to cover. And that is going to be just about a little bit wider than the width of my seal. So I'm going to go ahead and do seal all the way around right at the edge. And then it should line up on that paper really, really well. There we go. So, okay, and I want like, the equal distance all the way around. So like it's going to be about 1/8 inch or so. There we go. All right, and then that is going to go on the front of our card. So we have that done. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to cut 2 pieces that I need. Oops. So what I need is I need a piece that's going to go across here that's going to be white. So let me grab a piece of white out of here and cut that. So I need a piece of white that's 1 1/2 inches by 5. So we got 1 1/2 by 5. Oh, that's dang near 5 to begin with. And then I need a little piece of balmy blue that is also going to be 5, but it's going to be, instead of 1 1/2, it's going to be 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 is right there, and then 5. So it's the same length. It's just a little bit wider than my white piece. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring my foam mat back in because I am going to be stamping my sentiment on here. And my sentiment is going to say, nope, that's the wrong one. It's this one here. It says, now I can't read. We're going to stamp it and then we're going to know what it says. Something about a hug. Oh, I just want to hug you. That's what it is. Okay, so we are going to stamp that kind of at the bottom off to the right-hand side. Got that. And now here's a teeny little fun thing that I just found out about this stamp set. We've got these two pieces here that like make a design. This piece here has this fun little, I don't even know what you call it, but that fun little detail on the edge there. And so I discovered that it would look pretty cool stamped on the bottom of my card there. So here's that little piece that I was talking about, and I can just barely tap that in my pad, and then I can just kind of stamp that right down there. Isn't that just adorable? Yay! It just adds a fun little touch, a little bit of color, and it's super cute. Okay, so I'm going to add these two things together, these two pieces. So remember, they're the same length. They're just a different width. So we've got, you're going to have like 1/8 of an inch on the top, 1/8 of an inch on the bottom. And then they're the same length because then they'll just go across this very nicely. Okay. So now we need to add, of course, some hearts because that's what this whole set is about. It's about this cute little hearts and everything. So we're going to bring in, let's see, this is our inside piece. These are scraps. Okay. So I am going to stamp the double heart image. Oh, here it is. I'm like, what did I do with it? I'm going to stamp this in the balmy blue. Probably better. I got too many things in the way here. Okay. So we're going to stamp this in the balmy blue one time. There we go. And then I'm going to clean this off and I'm going to stamp it in the petal pink a couple of times. Okay. So we're going to spank it to dry it. All right. So we're going to do that. And we'll stamp that once. Oh, that was terrible. Try that again. Once. I'm going to cut these apart. And I'm going to flip this over and reuse this piece. Because why not, right? Okay. So we have our two of those. We have our balmy blue. Now, right on the edge here, I'm going to stamp my leaves, and those are going to be done in mint macaron. So basically, I'm just taking the colors right off my piece of paper. Okay. So we've got some mint leaves here, and we're going to cut this apart. So this is what's really cool. If you guys save scraps of white, which I have a whole folder here full of what I call skinny white strips. And there's just a ton of little skinny strips in here. This particular stamp, this leaf stamp, is perfect for those skinny strips of white. Because it's kind of what you want. Because when you slide this into the punch, if you have a big, huge piece, it's just going to be, the whole piece is going to be ruined. Because as you can see, you're going to have that big heart that's going to take a big chunk out of whatever it is that you're trying to punch. So if you just use skinny strips for your leaves, then you won't have to waste any precious big pieces of cardstock. Okay, and now we can slide our hearts down in here. Get those. I really like how this punch is set up. I think it's pretty cool, pretty ingenious, honestly. And sometimes if your paper isn't long enough, you can use a spitty finger. So I basically just licked my finger and I'm trying to push my paper around with my spitty finger so that it goes where I want it to go. I know it's gross, but you know, There should be no germs left on it after a while. I wouldn't imagine that germs can last on my card for more than I don't know, a few days, a week, and it'll be definitely sitting down here for that long. Okay, so we have some pieces and parts done on that. I have one more heart that I want to get. There is an open heart here. Oh, I need that on blue. Hold on. Boy, I'm not prepared with my scraps today at all. All right, here is a fun fold that I was working on the other day. We'll just use that. Okay, and we'll slide that in, and you can see the leaves do the same thing, so I could have got a skinnier piece, but this is fine. And there we go. Okay, so I think I have everything punched and cut out that I need. Find the trash there, and I think I probably missed, but it is what it is. I got a broom. Okay, so now we're just going to build ourselves a little fun heart scene on the front of the card here on this layer. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere the card together so that I can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to get some dimensionals. Oh, I'm almost out of dimensionals. Hold on. There we go. Always have extra dimensionals. I don't know what I would do if I actually ran out. I'd probably cry. Okay. Oh, I have a couple left on here. So we'll go ahead and use those. And then we'll bring out our brand new layer here. And because my designer series paper is the only thing in the middle here, I'm going to go a little bit dimensional crazy because designer series paper is a little thinner than cardstock and I don't want it to sag. So I'm going to go a little dimensional crazy there. But you know, they're not that expensive. Okay. Oh, did I get all that? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're going to add this to the front and leaving our regular amount of space all around it. All right, I haven't been checking the comments. Has anybody got anything exciting to say? Karen says she loves hearts in different colors. Me too, Karen. All right, so I don't think I want this completely centered because it's just going to, my theory on not centering stuff all the time is because sometimes if you're trying to center something and you don't get it centered, then it looks weird. It looks off. But if you purposely like bring it down below center, then whoever gets it, well, obviously you didn't try to center it, so it's not centered. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to not center it on purpose so that I don't have to worry about it being centered. I mean, not that it would be that big of a deal. Nobody would probably care. But if you're a little bit anal like myself, and I struggle sometimes getting stuff in the middle because my eyes just do not see properly anymore. Ever since I had my cataract surgeries, I don't know, my eyes are just not that great. And there we go. So I think that's not centered. Of course, I wanted it centered from side to side, just not top to bottom. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some glue dots. And I'm also going to have a fantastic glue dot tip for you guys here in just 1 second. So I'm going to add glue dots. Okay, I only need one of these pale papaya hearts. Okay, there we go. We're at the end. All right. Oh, that's not even a glue dot. So I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the glue dots that we're getting these days, and maybe this is the way they designed them, but for the past, I don't even know, maybe over a year, to me, they come out backwards, upside down, on the wrong side. So here's a brand new roll of dots. I like my dots to be right here as I'm pulling back the paper, but they're not. They're on the paper that I'm pulling back, and that drives me crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this roll insert thing, and I am going to start my dots on here. Okay. First of all, I am going to take this dot that's right here so that I don't have to waste it. Oh, for heaven's sakes, come off. And it's on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this with some tape. Now I realize tape isn't going to stick really great to this piece, but it should stick enough that I can start rolling this the opposite direction. Okay. So I'm going to go through the whole thing. Not going to do it right now, but I am just going to roll this whole thing back on itself so that when I start using my dots, they're going to be where I want them to be, because like I said, that drives me crazy. All right, so I'm just going to pull some dots off here. I'll be mad at myself later when I get to this point, but right now it's fine. Okay, so you can only do it if you have an old roll. I don't know how you could roll it on itself. You'd have to like unroll the whole thing, and I feel like that could be a disaster waiting to happen because then you'd have glue dots on papers touching things that you might not want them to touch. So wait till you're done with your roll, keep your insert, and then go backwards. Okay, so I'm going to put that behind me on my desk so that I kind of know what's going on there. All right, so now I'm going to add some of the leaves to my, these are basically going to be like heart flowers. Let's see, Mary Bauer says, glue dots are made in the town I work in. I talked to the owner and complained on behalf of stampers everywhere. She said they might change them back. Well, we hope so, Mary, and we thank you for taking the opportunity to go and complain for us because, yeah, it drives me crazy. I really don't like it. I mean, obviously, I have figured out a way to make it work. And, I wonder what their reasoning is. Why did they change it? I mean, were people complaining and saying, oh, gosh, I really hate the way these roll off the thing? I honestly can't even imagine somebody complaining about that because it was amazing. There was no reason to change it. But I don't know. Maybe it's cheaper. Is the only thing I always figure is when somebody changes something, it's usually because it's less expensive to manufacture. So maybe that has something to do with it. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. Okay, so we have our 3 heart kind of flower things, and then we have our 3 little singles. So I'm going to use dimensionals. Where did I put my dimensionals? All right, so here we go. Mary says they had a reason, but he didn't tell her why. Well, he should have. It's imperative that we know because if I knew what the reason was, it might make me understand better. You know what I mean? Sometimes if you know the reasoning behind why somebody does something, you're like, okay, I get that. But not knowing is just frustrating. Oh, a glue dot dispenser. Cheryl, I literally had no idea that was even a thing. Okay, well, if that's what it is, then that makes more sense to me. All right, so we're just going to sort of throw these on here, wherever. Sherry says they're sticking to things before you wanted to use and they weren't protected. Mine were never like that because I always made sure that my extra paper came over and covered all my exposed glue dots. Maybe not everybody did that. That's interesting. Okay, so we're going to add this large heart here, and I feel like I'm going to need to cut some of it off, or we're going to need to do something with this dimensional. Like I should have probably done a dry fit here to see where I wanted everything to go before I just started throwing everything out there. Okay, that I think is going to work. So I'm just going to use some seal for that. Well, again, so those reasons make sense. The dispenser thing, I just had no idea that you could even buy something like that. That's interesting. Okay, we got that. We have a little blue heart to go up here. And Kimberly says she figures it probably has something to do with reducing costs. I mean, that's kind of my initial thought on the whole thing, just because that's typically why things get changed. Who knows? Okay, so now we have that done. Where are my my little gems? What did I do with them? Come on, Barb. Not there, not... Oh, I found them. I had them sandwiched between 2 stamp sets. Okay. We have some little doohickeys to add. We're going to add the blue doohickeys. I should probably tape these down because otherwise they're going to drive me nuts. So, because I've been doing my product shares. If you guys ordered a product share from me, know that your shares will be leaving here. I'm going to try to get them out of here tomorrow. I really, 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 really want them out of here tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to get them all done. But I'm going to try. Okay. So we need to take your pick tool. Where is it? And we are going to use some of these. And we're just going to kind of fill in maybe some of the areas where we don't have something. maybe like so. There we go. So pretty. And then we have our inside. And on the inside, I was simply going to stamp my open heart in the blue. And then I have, oh no, not in blue. I'm not going to do it in blue. I'm going to do it in petal pink. Let me clean this off really quickly. Spank, spank. That sounds kind of weird, sorry. But I do spank it to dry it off. Oh my gosh, didn't I literally just say I was going to do it in petal pink? And then what do? Right there in balmy blue. Good Lord. Okay, here we go. Sentiment I want to be in balmy blue because I want it to show up. Not that I don't think this will show up, but I feel like it would be better in the balmy blue. Okay, so here's my other sentiment. It says, you've got the biggest heart. And I'm going to stamp that. Let's try here and see what happens. There we go. And then we have these fun little hearts. This little twosome of hearts that we're just going to stamp right there. Cute. Okay. So then this is going to go on the inside. And then I've got an envelope that I'm just going to stamp that same little heart on, I think. Or maybe we'll do 2 hearts. We'll see. We probably could do 2. Oh, hello. Never mind. That's an envelope from a different class. Oops. Okay. Here's one for this class because it's blank. Ooh, maybe we can do these 2 little hearts in the blue on the outside. Kind of maybe like right here. There, that's cute. Okay, so there is one of the cards that's included in my Country Bouquet class to go. So if you're interested in that, again, the link is in the description of this video to purchase that. It should be ready to go, not next Monday, but the Monday after. And there you go. Okay. So I'm going to push some of this stuff out of the way, and then I have a really cute card that I'm very excited about to share with you because I get to use my boho blue baby bust. Okay, now this one doesn't have a whole lot of stamping on it. It mostly has some die cuts, but you know, sometimes we just make a die cut card. It is what it is. All right, so we're going to use the Friendly Gnomes stamp set. So we're going to use this little cute guy here and the Love You sentiment. And then, of course, we're going to bring in the gnomes dies. So I've got some paper, some papers here. And I've got a die on the floor. So I've got this is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch layer of thick basic white. It could be 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, however you like to make your card bases. I just had this in my drawer. And then I have a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch layer of fresh freesia, and I have run that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the Raindrops embossing folder. So I have those fun raindrops, but I'm actually going to turn it the other way so that it doesn't necessarily, not that I'm trying to have it be raining, so I'm just going to turn those the other way just to give it a little bit different look. Then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper. This is one of the items you can get for free from Celebration. This is the $100 item here, one of them, the Dandy Designs. And of course, I'm sure most of you, probably a lot of you already have this. And if you're like me, you love it and can't use it enough, which I literally can't use it enough because I want to use it on every single card that I make because it's so cute. So I used this. Here's the pattern that I chose. This is a 3 by 4. And I'm going to layer that onto a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch layer of petal pink because it coordinates. Okay. So we've got that going for us so far. Then I have some die cuts already. So I have 2 of the mushroom caps in the fresh freesia. I have 2 little gnome noses in petal pink. I have a 3/4 by 1 1/4 inch strip of white, and I did cut a little gnome nose out of that. And then I have some gnome legs that I cut out of petal pink, And then I colored the leg pieces with my dark petal pink marker. I'm going to go over it one more time just because, make it a little bit darker, because I want to make sure that it's not, you know, that it's going to show, that it's going to stand out. Whoops, I just bent your foot, little gnome. I'm so sorry. Okay, and then I also have this little gnome nose here, and I'm going to color that one with my light petal pink marker. Kind of make that a little bit more skin tone-ish, which I guess I could have used my skin tone blends, but I didn't think about it. So there we go. So now with my baby boss, I am going to bring in the little gnome hat. And where did the beard go? Well, oh, found it. I just couldn't get a hold of it. Okay, so then I have the beard here, and I'm going to do that out of white. And then I have the little gnome hat, which is going to be cut from the back side of this paper that I'm using on the front. So we're basically building a gnome. So I'm going to bring in the old baby boss in the beautiful boho blue. If you're wondering how to get this, if you're a demonstrator, you can order it from Stampin' Up! Through, I believe, the 15th of this month. If you're not a demonstrator, but you want to be, then you can add it to your starter kit. So how I'm going to make my sandwich with this is I am going to have my plates staggered. Okay, so I'm going to have my base plate. Plate number 1 is ahead of my plate number 2. I am going to now add my dies and my paper. So, and I shouldn't need to tack them down with anything. They should work, since they don't have to be perfect. And now my second plate is going to go ahead of my first one. So I have like 2 pieces of bread on the outside and then a little piece of on the inside. Like a piece of bread, not bread, like cheese or something. So that when I try to send this into the machine to begin with, then it will grab onto it, okay? Hopefully my camera is focusing. I realize my hands are like in and out of all over the place. And sometimes the camera doesn't like that. So here's our little beard piece. And then we have our adorable hat, which has really fun, like embossed stitching lines. It's just so cute, honestly. Okay, I'm going to put those in the box so that I don't lose them. So we are going to make a little gnome whose legs wiggle back and forth, okay? I know, so cute. You're just gonna die. All right, so to start out with, first we're going to stamp our sentiment, which, like I said, is the love you sentiment. So let me get that out of here. And let me get a block. And we're going to say love you, and we're going to say it in fresh freesia on this little piece right here. And almost back to the end there. And then I'm going to bring in my Happy Labels punch, which is our newest border punch. Or not border punch, like end punch. And it's got kind of a ticket style here, and then a little tiny scallop. And Laura says, not the gnome bundle. And actually, it's not a bundle. It's the gnome stamp set and the gnome dies. They're not sold as a bundle anymore. After the holiday catalog, they unbundle them. Okay, so whoops, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to do this one. So I'm trying to get that, and you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to cheat. So I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to add it to a handle, which is simply another little tiny piece of cardstock. And where's my, here it is. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of adhesive to the end there, and I am going to make it a little bit less sticky. And then I'm going to add my love you to the end of that. So this is, I have a handle now. So I can slide my love you into there. And I can punch it off so that I have a fun little border on the end of it. And I was able to get it in there. So we're going to end up adding that to the top. What happened to my paper? Oh, I must have cut this a little wonky. Hold, please. I need to trim that off. If you guys are interested in a little tabletop trimmer like this, this is like a little photo trimmer. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these anymore, and you can't earn them for free. You could a number of years ago to be a demonstrator. Anyway, I do have one linked in my description of this video, I think, that you can get off Amazon. So, all right, we are going to put our Love You up there. Now we're going to do the assembly. Yes, Wendy says, I'm not a fan of gnomes. I didn't like the gnomes in the holiday catalog, you guys. I did not like them at all. I did not buy that bundle. I did not like it. This gnome set, it's so cute. I really do like it. Okay, so I'm going to add this with some dimensionals, but first I'm going to add my little sentiment piece here. And I'm going to add it about right here. So it's pretty close to the top. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing that we just did on that other card, where we're going to make ourselves a little loop out of ribbon. This is the Fresh Freesia Open Weave ribbon. And we are going to add that right next to our little sentiment strip here. Come on. Line up for me. And I'm going to use tape, of course, because that's how I roll. There we go. And we're going to add dimensionals. I keep using them and losing them. Okay. And Sherry says she wished they would have carried over the other gnomes. I have to not agree with you on this, Sherry, because I just do not like them. Okay. So we're going to center this on our little raindrop layer. There we go. And then we're going to add this. Actually, I'm going to use liquid glue because I have embossing on this. So I'm going to bring in some liquid glue here. And we're just going to scribble all over the whole thing. And then we're going to add it to the front. Now, oh my, what is this? How big is this? Did I even cut this? 4 1/8. 5 3/8. Oh, now I'm throwing stuff. Is this the right size? Is this the wrong size of card? Oh, yeah, this is 4 1/8. Okay, hold on. I need a new card piece. I was like, that does not look like the right size at all. Here is another layer of white. This is 4 1/2, 4 1/4. Okay, this should be, I do not know what happened to that other one. What did I do to that? Why would that not be? Who knows? Okay, now we're going to try this. Oh, Lisa's so sweet. She said for you guys to hit the like button or the thumbs up. She says she wishes there was a, oh no! Gosh, I need to pay attention and stop chatting. That was upside down. God. Yikes. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Wow, can I even get this right? Ugh. Wow. Okay. So now we're going to start with this. We're going to add our hat to the gnome. You can see there's a little like area here on his face, I guess, that kind of shows you where the hat can like settle into. There's like some little embossed lines in there to get that settled in nicely. And then we've got his little nose here that we colored with the light marker. That's going to go right there. Okay. And now here's the fun part. We are going to attach his legs to this little piece right here. Okay. So I'm going to add some glue to his legs. And then I'm going to add them to this little strip here. So this again was 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/4 inches. Okay. And then I just cut the nose out of it. So we want his legs to obviously be on the paper. And then we want the beard to cover up that little piece of white that I just used. So we're going to make sure that we get that on there correctly. Oh, but you know what else I got to do? I need to add his arms. So these little mushroom caps are going to be like his little sleeves. Okay. So we're going to add a little sleeve here to the side of his beard and a little sleeve over here on the other side of his beard. So it kind of looks like a little sweater sleeve or something, I think. Okay. And oh goodness, that did not work. Like literally did not work at all. Did I not press hard enough? Okay, press hard. Then we're going to add those two little noses. We're going to add those to the end to look like little hands. So now we have a little gnome wearing perhaps a little sweater. I've got junk. Well, I'm going to have to get all those. It look like bits of glue. Okay, so back to the feet. So the feet are going to go about right here. He's going to go about right here. So I'm going to put a dimensional right in there in this hole. Make sure it's like straight. Okay. And then we're going to add him. So he needs some dimensionals too. So one there on his hat, and then I'm going to put one right above this little piece here. And then we're going to attach this. So we've got the feet, we've got the gnome, and then his little feet can like move back and forth. Now they don't like completely move on their own like all the time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But how fun is that? So he's got little movable feet. All right, and I've got some little dots of glue here, so I'm going to use an adhesive eraser to get rid of those. And I have a special little bonus for you guys because I have another one of these exact same cards. Oh, I didn't finish the inside. Hold on. Made out of a different color, so you can sort of see different colors. Okay, now I'm not going to color this because if I color this, then it's going to bleed through to the back. And I don't want that to happen. So it says, love you. And then there he is on the inside with his fun little heart. So there is the outside with his little movable legs. And maybe if I would use a smaller dimensional, I don't know, they move around enough. I think if you shake it a little bit, tap it, you know, depending on what happens in the mail, it'll move. You know what? I wonder if anyway. Okay, so here's my other one that I made using the same layout and the same, mostly same everything, just a different color. And his little feet move too. Aren't they just so cute? Oh my gosh. And then his little hands with his little sweater on. Oh my gosh. Anyway, those are my cards for the evening. I hope you guys liked them. Remember to give the video a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. And then if you need some classes to take in case you're bored, I've got a whole bunch of them. You can find links to them below in the description of this video, along with links to lots of other things. I've got a lot of different items in my Amazon store that you can check out if you are so inclined. Lots of little crafty items, and there's a few listed in the description of the video. Plus, then I have a link to my blog that has an entire list of tons of things that I use in my crafting and in my Stampin' Up! Business. On Amazon. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it very much. And I look forward to seeing you at some point next week. I just don't know when, because I'm getting that old tooth yanked out, you know. So anyway, we will see you guys later. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.